Today we're going to talk about 5 simple ways that you can apply to invest in Pokemon easily. None of this is financial advice. Take what you find is useful and apply it. There are multiple ways of investing in Pokemon. It ranges from different types of products and then ranges from how much time you spend into it. In today's video, I'm going to focus on a way that is not too volatile, stable, but at least the expected returns will still be better than a traditional investment, and also it will require a little amount of time, so it won't require you to spend a lot of time on it. Okay, so let's get started. So firstly, number 1 is buy sealed. Now in Pokemon investing, there's probably 3 main categories that you can invest in, but there are other ways, but I'm going to focus on 3 main types of categories. Firstly, there's sealed, second there's single cards, and thirdly there's slabs, so graded cards. Okay, sealed could be ranging from all types of sealed products. Single cards, again, all of these different singles from the different sets: common, rare, ultra rare, illustration rare, special illustration rare, etc, etc. And then, graded cards: PSA, BGS, CGC, tag, etc. But for this video, I would think, and this is what I'm doing, I'm just gonna focus primarily on sealed. People do invest in all 3 categories, or maybe 2 of the categories, or these 3, and then perhaps other categories such as tins, other sorts of investments. To keep it simple and to reduce the time you spend on the investment, just buy sealed. Sealed, just think about it in terms of supply wise. Over time, as more and more people open these products, the supply of sealed would decrease over time. Yes, there's reprints, but what I'm saying is after the reprint cycle, which is typically 2 to 3 years, some could be longer, like Hidden Fates. So 2 to 3 years, over time people would open these products on a daily basis, rip and ships, whatever, and then sealed would just decrease supply, and then if demand remains the same, then over time your sealed products would increase. But what would I focus on when I'm buying sealed? Because there's also a range of products to consider when you're talking about sealed. So let's go through what sort of sealed products you can expect. Okay, so sealed products, there's definitely a range. There's pen collections, tins, battle box, elite trainer box, collection boxes, collection chests, booster box, booster packs, blister pack, deck, and then miscellaneous. What I would do is, to keep it simple, I would focus on booster box. Booster box for main sets, and ETBs maybe for ETBs for specialty sets. And if a main set is really strong, I would get into booster boxes and ETBs. So both the categories for stronger sets. That would probably contribute to perhaps 80 to 90% of my sealed collection. And the other 10, this is if you want something a bit more different, but to start off, I would say, to keep it simple, focus just on booster boxes and ETBs. There could be some collection boxes that has great promo cards, and it would do well going forward. And there's UPCs, ultra premium collection boxes, which have been doing extremely well over time. But you gotta be sure about the UPC that you pick, because Celebrations did very well. 151 did very well. Charizard now starting to pick up, but what about the other ones? The Greninja one, the Terrapagos UPC, not so well. Even SPCs, you gotta be selective of it. So just on that point, for now, to keep it simple, focus on booster boxes, ETBs for the majority of your collection. Why? Because over time, booster boxes and ETBs are the more desirable, they're the more liquid sealed products, easier to move, and yeah, it's just better to hold. There's more demand for it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, and I cannot stress this enough, and there's many ways of phrasing this: set a budget, or don't overspend. Always set a budget for your Pokemon investing. Be very sure, be 110% sure of what you want to spend on Pokemon, and make sure that you do not overspend. Ensure that the money that you are spending on Pokemon are additional amounts that won't impact your daily living expenses. i.e., if it's rent money or money for food, don't spend that on Pokemon. This would have to be from additional disposable income. So always look at what you bring in as income and what your essential expenses are. That will be your disposable income, and then determine from that disposable income what percentage are you going to allocate to Pokemon. So it could be $100 per month, could be $1,000 per month, whatever it is. Set a budget, don't overspend, because what you'll realize is when you do overspend on Pokemon, you realize that when something happens, you have to liquidate. You do not have the leverage. You have to panic sell your products at a percentage to market. You may have to sell it at 60% to market. But if you don't overspend, it's easier for you to hold on to these sealed products, and over time we have seen that sealed products continue to do well over time. So you would have the leverage if you don't overspend. You would be able to ask whatever you want to sell it at when the time comes. Market price, nothing compromised, no compromisation, no compromise. So yeah, set a budget, and definitely don't take out debt. I don't think that's a good idea. Don't use debt to invest in Pokemon. Okay, third point that I want to touch on is storage space. Whenever you invest in Pokemon, you gotta realize you need some space for it. Where it be in a shelf in your home, or if it's something bigger, maybe you need to have a dedicated room for these Pokemon products, or eventually different levels, maybe you need to rent out a storage unit. And that's why it links to my first point where I mentioned just focus on booster boxes and ETBs for specialty sets, because booster boxes don't take up a lot of space compared to UPCs and other more exotic products. Collection boxes, collection chests, booster boxes, very compact, 36 packs, optimized space in a compact box, and you could store it very, very nicely in a small amount of space. You don't really need a lot of space, and especially if you buy cases, that allows you to store it better. Just stack cases on top of each other, and then even with ETBs, you can also buy cases and stack on top of each other. Obviously, up to a certain point. That's really the better way to optimize storage space. Otherwise, if you have to spend more to secure your storage space, then that kind of defeats the purpose, because you then have to almost account for that cost. And then number 4, sort of debatable, but it's something that we have to come to terms with. And unfortunately, if you are serious about Pokemon investing, you need to have self-control when it comes to opening packs. And don't open packs if you can. You're gonna have the discipline to not open packs. Yes, you could be a collector. Let me just put the context out there. You can be a collector and an investor at the same time, and I'm probably in that school. I was probably more of a collector in the past. So you do want to enjoy, if you do enjoy the opening packs experience, you can still do that, but that you have to do it, you have to control it, you have to reduce it, minimize it, Say for example you want to invest in a new set. Yes, maybe tell yourself, okay, you know what, I'm gonna buy X amounts of booster box, and maybe I'll just open one just for the fun of it, and then only open one. That's it. If you're on a tighter budget, maybe you just say, okay, I'll just open a 3-pack blister, but I'll invest in, booster boxes, and I won't open booster boxes. I'll just open a few packs here and there. But anyway, we're talking about the discipline to not open packs. So if you today, let's say for example, you have a few booster boxes lying in front of you, will you be able to control yourself to not open those booster boxes? If the answer is you can't, then it's going to be very difficult. You need to train yourself to have discipline. In that instance, if you still want to invest in Pokemon, maybe you have to have a dedicated shelf for these products that you store away, that you won't see them on a daily basis, so that's out of your sight and there's less temptation. For me, even if I have sealed booster boxes in front of me right now, I don't have the temptation to open it, because I'm thinking in my mind, okay, you know what, that booster box is going to do well. And that I would argue that probably came from experience and paying school fees, because I realized the pain that I had to go through of opening several Evolving Skies booster boxes in the past and opening exactly nothing, just nonsense. And looking at the price of a Evolving Skies booster box these days, I mean, $2,420.16. If I had kept that Evolving Skies booster box sealed, that each of those booster boxes would be worth $2,420. Yes, you can say you're having fun, but probably a lot of people's objective in opening booster box is to find the chase card. The chase card is worth maybe 1,271. Okay, this is price charting. So, and a PSA 10 is 2,900. So you could argue, you know what, just the price of a booster box plus maybe what, $600 or $500, you could get the chase card in the PSA 10 version. So it didn't really make sense for me to open that many booster boxes and that many packs of Evolving Skies. So I see the long-term potential of these booster boxes. I enjoy seeing them. You know, I don't overspend, and yeah, it doesn't give me a temptation to open packs. Maybe I'll open a few packs here and there for new sets just for the fun of it. But yeah, that's it. And then number 5, yes, we talk about minimizing the amount of time you spend on Pokemon investing, but sometimes you gotta do research. You gotta be cognizant of what's happening right now in the market. And if there's one site I go to, and that's Poker Beach, I think it's a nice site. Summarizes information in articles, and it really keeps you up to date with most Pokemon news. Yeah, so if you really struggle with time, that's probably one site that you want to look at, Poker Beach. And then whenever a new set comes in, you just gotta think to yourself, okay, you need to start building up experience of how you can determine what a set would potentially do in the future. And there's probably 3 elements that you can look at. Theme, what's the theme of the set? Especially evolutions would be an extremely strong set. It's an extremely strong theme, especially if it's EV and all the other evolutions. You will know that, you know, a theme is strong and it's on a good way to become a successful set. Secondly, you gotta look at the art. Do you like the artwork? Do you think the artwork is great in a particular set? And what you need to focus here, besides from the look of it, because art is subjective, you gotta focus on whether there's any popular artists that have illustrated some artworks in that particular set. Shinji Kanda, for example. Let's talk about Black Bolt and White Flame. Black Bolt, you can find that Sesame Toad, Shinji Kanda, illustration rare, but it's an extremely expensive card. Let me just go to that set quickly. So for illustration rare, Sesame Toad, $177, much higher than other illustration rares. I mean, look at this. This is a special illustration rare, $68. Genesect, $65. It's higher. It's only below Zekrom, the special illustration rare. And yeah, that's the thing you gotta focus on. If there's a very popular artist, Arita, Shinji Kanda, etc., then yeah, you gotta pay attention. Maybe that will help the set to do well. And then thirdly, you gotta look at pull rates. If it's very easy to pull the chase card, it's probably not gonna do well. But if it's very difficult to pull a particular chase card, it's got a high chance of doing well. And if it ticks these 3 boxes, strong theme, strong artwork with strong artists, and the pull rates are extremely difficult, then it's probably going to be a set that's going to do quite well. And in those sets, you probably want to invest in more booster boxes or UTBs. And in weaker sets, you can pull back, hold back, don't deploy too much funds. Probably you can even skip it if you want and focus just on the stronger sets. Yeah, and that's all I have. Hopefully the 5 methods are simple and easy to follow. Just in conclusion, really this is just a simple 5 method way to start off your Pokemon investment journey. And even if you are investing, maybe some points to consider. Not financial advice, but yeah, that's all I have. Catch you on the next one.